Phil Foden may have the chance of his life to become City's best attacking midfielder, especially given Kevin De Bruyne's recent prolonged injury. Despite Foden's impressive performance against Newcastle, fans were surprised when he was excluded from the starting lineup in the next match. This raises a significant question. Can Phil Foden fulfill his maximum potential at City under Pep Guardiola's guidance? First, let's begin by analyzing the player. Foden is a fast, wiry winger who is also a neat, tidy midfielder, a perfect fusion. His exceptional initial touch, adept close control, stability, and grace while handling the ball may bring to mind a modern Spanish midfielder rather than someone born in Stockport in May 2000. When receiving a pass, he's always positioned to pivot, and he consistently aims to control the ball with his back foot, primed to progress the play in his next move. He possesses the knack of gliding past challenges as if they're non-existent. His approach is both ambitious and forward-looking in his passing and dribbling. He's equally at ease in an advanced role between the lines, and when dropping deeper to collect the ball just ahead of the opposition's midfield. From deeper positions, he often zips passes to more advanced teammates before initiating a run, creating an option for a return pass and striving to navigate through a crowd. Regardless of where he receives the ball, his intent remains the same: to make a pass that positively impacts his team's offensive endeavors. His dribbling is primarily reliant on his left foot, employing numerous short touches, always ready to respond to any tackling attempt, and capable of changing the direction of the ball to evade opponents. He excels at shifting his body to gain momentum and explosively breaking lines, often achieving this from a stationary position after receiving a pass under pressure. When he reaches top speed, he becomes a surprisingly forceful runner. Foden's constant awareness of his surroundings allows him to perceive the playing field behind him, making him one of the most adept players at exploiting spaces between the lines. But in spite of being recognized as a premier English talent, Foden's playing time encounters inconsistency due to frequent alterations in City's starting lineup. Despite having clinched numerous titles since his emergence 6 years ago, Foden found himself in the starting lineup for only 22 Premier League matches in the previous season. Foden's adaptability and the fierce competition within City's squad have posed obstacles to his steady advancement. It's worth acknowledging that Foden is contending with some of the most exceptional players in the history of football. Jamie Carragher pointed out that Foden's varying roles over different seasons, which have included stints as a left winger and even a false nine, coupled with injuries, have hindered his ability to firmly establish himself in a specific position. After making his debut at the age of 17 in 2017, Foden was kept within the fold at the Etihad Stadium with the belief that he would thrive under Guardiola's guidance and benefit from training alongside the club's most gifted stars. This strategy has undeniably yielded results, as Foden seamlessly transformed into a proven performer within one of the most successful teams in club football today. But Guardiola is a manager who prefers squad rotation, and he has had to address questions about why Foden isn't considered a pivotal first-team player, and why he frequently finds himself utilized as a substitute from the bench. Last year, Guardiola said, "He needs to be himself. I saw other players better than him at times after the World Cup. He struggled with his ankle after the World Cup a lot." While Guardiola perceives Foden as still in the process of development, Jamie Carragher asserts that the time has arrived for Foden to realize his full potential. Carragher remarked, "Phil Foden is no longer young. 3 or 4 years ago, there were discussions about him becoming the finest English player. It's almost as if Jude Bellingham has taken on that role, being the linchpin of the England team." Foden is facing difficulties making his way into the England and Manchester City squads. As Foden approaches 24 at the conclusion of the 2023-24 season, an age generally acknowledged as the peak phase for most players in terms of growth and professional development, his positions within both his club and the national team are under scrutiny. This season seems to hold the key for Foden to silence any doubters and demonstrate that he possesses the potential to live up to Guardiola's effusive endorsement of his initial breakthrough. If not, he might find himself categorized among those players who never quite fulfilled the expectations of becoming a potential global superstar. But it is possible that the summer shakeup at City could turn out to be beneficial for Foden. Okay, Gundogan, who arguably played a pivotal role in City's title pursuit, has moved on to Barcelona, and Riyad Mahrez has departed for Saudi Arabia. This has left Guardiola with some decisions to make. Mateo Kovacic has been acquired from Chelsea as a central midfielder, though his style differs significantly from Gundogan's. Meanwhile, Mahrez's unexpected departure has been filled by Doku. Most notably, De Bruyne's injury has left a very big hole in the squad. Throughout Guardiola's tenure, Foden has been deployed in various roles, ranging from a false nine to a left wingback. However, he's eager to establish a definitive position for himself. Operating as number 8 could enable him to take charge of moving the ball forward, exploiting spaces to unlock teams that defend deep. In the absence of Gundogan, City have lost a player who could carry the ball through the midfield, and Foden possesses the quality to fill that void. Historically, Foden has predominantly featured on the flanks under Guardiola, with only 110 minutes spent as number 10 last season. Arguably, his standout moments with City have come when he was positioned on the right side. However, Foden believes he's most effective playing behind a central striker, and the prospect of doing so alongside someone like Haaland is undeniably enticing. The match against Newcastle showcased Foden's effectiveness and significance, wherein he assumed a role akin to the injured De Bruyne. Foden's performance was so impressive that it seemed as if City wouldn't miss the presence of the Belgian for an extended period. Guardiola altered his tactics midway through the 2022-23 season, and this season, he's once again experimenting to identify the optimal combination. Against Newcastle, Manchester City adopted a 4-2-3-1 formation. De Bruyne's position as the number 10 would have been customary, but due to his absence, Pep chose Julian Alvarez. Foden assumed a different role on the right side. If we take a closer look at his touch map, we can clearly see where the young player positioned himself during the match. He predominantly took his touches towards the central areas, aiming to initiate plays from more central positions. Manchester City's style revolves around ball retention and methodical build-up. They seek out incisive passes and capitalize on opportunities. Phil Foden adopted a similar approach when facing Newcastle United. He completed 51 passes during the game, with an impressive 49 finding their mark. Notably, he managed to execute 2 passes into the opposition's penalty box with a perfect accuracy rate. Out of the 51 passes he attempted, 4 of them resulted in shot assists. Foden also provided an assist to Julian Alvarez in this game. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City squad is renowned for their collective work ethic, both with and without possession. Phil Foden is one of the players who consistently gives his all for the team. The 23-year-old made 6 interceptions, most of which disrupted the opposition's play within their own defensive half. This performance earned him the Man of the Match accolade. Guardiola enjoys experimenting with fresh concepts to facilitate his team's evolution in style and to keep rival managers uncertain about City's game plan. Foden is determined to have a more active role in the field, avoiding the sidelines and aiming to become the orchestrator in the number 10 position. There's a prevailing notion that if City remains unchanged, competency might set in, particularly after their remarkable treble achievement. This explains the ongoing squad rejuvenation and Guardiola's persistent drive to introduce new tactical strategies. It has been 6 years since Foden debuted for City. Throughout this time, he's secured 5 Premier League titles and earned 2 Young Player of the Year awards. Guardiola has earmarked him as the successor to De Bruyne. We know that it's almost impossible to replace De Bruyne, but if Foden keeps playing like that, he is on track. He should really take the opportunity and show what he is capable of doing if played every week. But following his impressive performance against Newcastle United last week, Phil Foden found himself again unexpectedly on the bench during Manchester City's match against Sheffield United. However, this wasn't a mere roll of the dice by Pep Guardiola. Rather, Foden's absence from the starting lineup was due to his health, and he wasn't in optimal condition to play the full game due to stomach issues. Foden entered the game right after Sheffield United's equalizing goal in the 86th minute and swiftly provided the assist for Rodri's winning goal. This move yielded 4 points for his fantasy football owners and once again highlighted his significant impact. Both Guardiola and Foden are likely to seize the opportunity to maximize each other's potential. Guardiola recognizes that he's working with an extraordinary talent, and motivating Foden to reach his zenith serves as a driving force for Guardiola himself. On the other hand, Foden believes he still has more to demonstrate, despite his numerous accolades and achievement, and we can't wait to see his evolution and potentially witness his breakthrough season. Is this set to be Foden's year? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're not familiar with Pep Guardiola's latest tactical innovation and why he stopped playing 4-3-3, check out this video next. Thanks for watching.